Good morning. Today we talk about lot number 68 from our upcoming auction of fine Asian, Buddhist and Chinese art on April 10 and 11, 2025. And this is a nice little fellow here. It's a neatly cast bronze figure of a BIXI, nicely gilt. You can see the beautiful gold is still present in some areas. A lot of it has flaked off over time, and there's now significant corrosion and erosion, and of course incrustation from malachite and cuprite as expected for this kind of alloy. The gilt that is still there, as you can see, is nicely preserved. Yeah, it has this typical tarnishing. When it would have been buried for a few more centuries, it would have been gone entirely. But what is left of it is very nice, and so it creates a nice pattern overall between the gilt, the cuprite, and the malachite. It's not very heavy cast, but it's a solid cast, and it's quite big. Normally these figures are smaller. Typically you refer them as weights. Larger ones are quite rare. There is one similar piece here, quite similar piece. Keep in mind this is a BIXI and this is a Tianlu, but otherwise they are quite similar, as you can see. Yeah, this one is in the Yale University Art Gallery. It has 13 centimeters. This one has 18 centimeters, so they are not exactly the same size. This is a lamp. Yeah, you can see the little slit here. This is a figure, but besides that, they have quite a strong similarity. There's also this one, which was at Christie's in Hong Kong just 2 years ago. This is a water dropper. Yeah, you can see it has massive corrosion and some gold inlay left. It's a bit smaller, but again, quite similar. And then also interesting to see a much later piece from the Ming Dynasty here, sold for roughly 40,000 euros at Bonhams in London in 2018. It's also a BIXI. You can see the similar form, but again, it's a water pot. Yeah? So there's water pots, water droppers, weights, lamps, and other kinds of figures. And back in the ancient days, in the Han Dynasty, this dates from 6 dynasties period. So this is roughly 1,500, 1,600 years old, not as old as Han Dynasty, a little bit more elaborate. Then a typical gilt bronzes from the Han Dynasty, but not as old, but well before the Tang Dynasty and subsequent periods, let alone the Ming Dynasty, which only started about 700-800 years later. It comes from an old private collection in Asia, was acquired in the 1990s in Hong Kong when these pieces started to appear on the market from excavations, construction activity in mainland China. Pieces flooded into the Hong Kong market back in those days. This is a really, really nice example. And we put it at 4,000 to 8,000 euros, which I think is quite reasonable. And so if you ever wanted a large bronze, a large ancient bronze with a good patina and nice gilding, here's your chance. Good luck in bidding.